The Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, not only gives us insights into our basic personality types, but it also gives us insights into our emotional intelligence. You know, our relationship within our personality. So be sure to watch the videos on interpersonal and intrapersonal factors as related to emotional intelligence. This is going to aid you in developing aspects within this intelligence. Now, this series of videos is going to focus on developmental challenges and some medius tasks to employ in order to improve your emotional intelligence and to be more in tune to those around you as well as to yourself. Now, as an ISFJ, you really are very considerate and you're very cooperative. You have an extroverted feeling, which helps you to really focus on being helpful and sensitive to others. You're also great at communicating tradition, responsibility, and getting your responsibilities taken care of, making sure that your tasks are done. And that goes along with that judging part of your personality. And given all of this information, plus that need for structure and practical orientation, some things that you can do is first to really take time to reflect on the reasons for a situation. Reflect on why something happened. This is going to help you within your arena and your area of problem solving. Attempt to look at the 5 whys. Ask yourself why something happened 5 different times. For instance, let's think about the weather. Why is it raining? Right? Then you would keep asking those questions until you have asked it 5 different times. This is going to help you to get to the foundation of a problem. Now, you may want to also work at not immediately rejecting information that doesn't really fit in with your sensing preference. So it may not fit with the data that you have. Remember that you may not have all the data. Be sure that you are looking at and understanding where other people come from as well. Next, really be open to other ideas, especially ideas that might be just a little bit unconventional. Because remember, since you do not have that intuition part of your preference, that is going to keep you more on the data side, which is going to lock away the possibility of some unconventional ideas. But you can be open to other people who have unconventional ideas. Within your interpersonal side, don't forget that you are so warm to other people. And because you are so warm to other people as an ISFJ, this means that you tend to really sacrifice your own needs to take care of others. So remember, there are things that you can do to really help with that interpersonal side of emotional intelligence. So for instance, you may want to really learn some methods and ways to manage conflict management. What can you do to really aid in this area? Remember, this is not just about being cooperative, because you're already very cooperative, but also competitive. How can being competitive aid you in your emotional intelligence? Also, find appropriate ways to use your knowledge. How can you use your knowledge not just to influence other people, but to help them understand and to be able to see where you're coming from and the big picture? Lastly, be more expressive of your values and your reflections, and also be a little more tough-minded when it comes to some ideas. You want to be able to keep a balance between the values and what is coming next. So within your emotional intelligence as an ISFJ, let's look at some tasks. What should you continue doing? What could you start doing to improve that emotional intelligence? And what should you stop immediately? So you're already very loyal. This is one of the greatest things about your personality type, is that you are loyal not just to people, but to companies and organizations as well. And you're also very, very good at focusing on others. You focus on others to the point that you will even give up and sacrifice your personal needs. Some things that you can do is start sharing those analytical views. Now remember, having that sensing preference means that you are very good at data, but not everybody is. So when you share those analytical views, be sure that you also share the foundations. Make sure that you create some open-ended questions so that people can understand where you are coming from, and that they also are able to understand the data. Remember, not everybody knows what a sigma is. Also, you may want to offer some ideas for the future. What is it that can improve? And especially given your foundation of data and understanding logic, you want to be able to offer ideas that are valid for the future. Give people an understanding of why you have these ideas and where they are coming from. Lastly, be sure that these things get done, that you can improve your emotional intelligence simply by stopping this. So sometimes you get reactional. Your reactional comes from the feeling side of your personality type. So you want to be able to employ that more, tertiary and less preferred functions of your intuition and thinking. So this is where you're going to work on withholding your reactions because somebody is emotional. Okay, you want to be able to not react, but to act, right? What's the difference? React is when you're going to respond to somebody's emotions, whereas acting is what you are doing because you are controlling your own emotions. Another thing you can do is avoid forcing those endings. Sometimes, because you have that judging preference type, you really want to have a closure to things. But remember that you don't want to force a closure, especially when it may not be needed. At times, by forcing that closure a little bit too soon or in ways that it's not needed, all you've really managed to do is exclude some great ideas, some great data, some great knowledge, and even some great information that you may need in the future. Now remember, as you go forward, you may want to look at the videos of your interpersonal factors and interpersonal factors that are related to emotional intelligence.